felt revved up. I already felt their energy. But how about on the other side? You have a little bit of a home team right now. Kelsey's home team, the Colony, which I like it because it reminds me of Teen Titans back in the day. The Hive, it sounds like an academy, which means they might put on an academic performance, maybe clean it all up. Who knows, Cap?
Yeah, you mean the good Teen Titans?
The good Teen Titans. Hey, man, I like Teen Titans Go, too, man.
Okay, we're not going to start that debate, okay? We got some Mario Kart to get to, all right? We'll save that argument for another day and for another show. That could be a podcast. But regardless, we're getting ready to go into our Mario Kart matchup head-to-head. And again, now I get to go into a little bit more detail about how this is going to work. Of course, we're doing Mario Kart 8 2v2 teams going head-to-head. And as we have already been told, and I am going to relate to you, that each circuit is going to be 1 point in this best of 5. Now, the way that works is, of course, you're going to get different point differentials, just like you would in a singles circuit, being that first place gets a certain amount of points, second, third, fourth, etc. So again, each player is going to earn points for their respective team based on their finishing placement. And then whoever has, of course, the total points that are higher than the other, you're going to get the dub. And then at the end of the circuit, whoever has the biggest amount of points or the larger amount of points, they're going to be able to get one win in the series in this best of 5. So it could potentially go to 5 full circuits. For the majority of it, we saw them kind of like fall behind a little bit, and they were at the middle of the pack for the longest. Daisy was actually in the lead for the majority of that first round, that first map, and then all of a sudden the Yoshis come out of nowhere and they take the first place, and then they end up finishing in first. So very well done coming from the Revving Roses, who I assume were the Revving Roses, the ATA squad, being able to come through with that first map win.
And this is the Rainbow Road that has the option to drop off the side of the map if you want to get ahead. But honestly, a risky play, I would not risk it for the biscuit. Instead, I would keep close to these guardrails, but you can fall off and eventually lose your place. So we'll see when they decide to use the gorge jumps or whether or not they stick to the track. Wario feeling saucy.
Yeah, I got to tell you right now, this Waluigi is playing so well. You can tell how many hours, how much time they put into learning this map because they're hitting every jump, they're hitting every shortcut, and not only that, but their drifts have been flawless. They literally have not missed an input since this race started.
Waluigi finally ended up getting a turtle shell. Now D4 in the lead right now. The red Yoshi trying to maintain the dominance that they had before. Pink one, or should I say magenta? I'm not too sure. All I know is that they're feeling pretty good, getting first place for the first time and holding on to that shell too. That shell will protect them from any projectiles that might go their way.
Yep, and now that shell is gone. They are exposed as they continue to hold on into that first place spot, and they're going to have to try and hold on to it because you have to remember, keep in mind that, you know, it was the Daisy that was holding that first place spot in the previous map during lap number 2, and then what happened in lap number 3? They got absolutely annihilated.
Oh, well, guess what? That lead is feeling really good. There's a big gap between first and second and third and fourth right here, so we'll see if anything might change. But as you said, Cap, things can change in a hurry. No more need for any coin, so honestly, that's a little bit of a wasted slot right there. But the bomb, let's see if they're able to go ahead and get that Waluigi and make sure that they're off their tail.
You see, it makes sense that the Yoshi is on stage because there's literally 3 Yoshis being played at the moment. And again, I'm just so happy that I was correct in saying that this is going to be a lot of Yoshis. And I absolutely do love my little dinosaur, our little dinosaur. That Yoshi is literally everyone's pet dinosaur.
Oh, absolutely. And Yoshi's Island, one of my top 5 favorite games of all time. If you haven't played it, I don't even really like platformers. I love that game. Go ahead and play it on in. Get real acquainted to our good old friend Yoshi. Right now, we got a Bullet Bill blasting Logan to second place. Waluigi, after maintaining first for a long time, is now falling behind Daisy, now taking second.
Yeah, this is going to be really, really close. They got 3 red turtle shells on the rip, coming around the corner for the final push, looking towards the finish line. If that red turtle shell is able to hit, then they're going to drop. They know it. It looks like it did hit. It did confirm. And out comes the boost, but it still won't be enough. Just barely there on the last stretch. What a round. And it is going to be NFO Shifty to come away that turn with a good amount of points, and they're going to be able to even further their lead. And, I mean, right now, they've gotten 2 pretty solid performances back to back.
Or coming with some arsenals of their own.
Yep, that they are, and they're able to, again, avoid the flaming pinwheel. As you can see, they are going to be pushing ahead now. The pink Yoshi trying to catch up to the red one. I mean, you're looking at the blue squad right now, and they have quite the commanding lead. Even though that their Daisy is last in the pack, that red Yoshi there from blue squad has a pretty sound lead. But again, here comes the danger. It is the final lap.
The final lap, and look at that, fourth Yoshi. Right now, Pink Yoshi is all the way at the back. It's just about luck and timing if you get a good boost. Look at that. Good boost right there, hitting all those boosts when you're up and in the air, but then also to getting some mushrooms, ooh, a turtle shell as well. Maybe they can make their life really unfortunate for the person who's in front, but I think that red Yoshi, ooh, too far ahead right now. Mario Kart sometimes, so being in the back of the pack necessarily isn't bad. So you saw Daisy had a bad start right there, didn't get the initial boost off the two, but guess what? They can come back if they get good pulls. This is my favorite map, Coconut Mall. Oh, some fireworks can come at the end of this map in the last turn.
Yeah, now you can see that Asasito once again has a lead thanks to NFO Shifty, who once again is going to take a very early start. And then they drop the green shell from behind, and it hits its mark. My goodness, is now, once again, we're coming around the corner here, almost done with our first lap already. And NFO Shifty, once again, making a pretty dominating first lap until they get overtaken by Giberato.
Oh my gosh, what a turn right there to go slightly out of bounds. Unfortunately went the wrong way on the escalator, but went up the railing of the escalator too. What a cheeky play that we're seeing right here. If and even Yarn in the right spot, they're making great moves and really reacting to whatever the track course puts their way.
Yep, and now here we go, going back around the corner, looking to try and make their way halfway through the second lap. A red turtle shell still in tow, and that is going to be either be a big protection or they are going to knock out whoever is trying to trail behind them, especially when it comes to drafting. Meanwhile, you're trying to avoid the hot rods here coming around the corner, and here we go. We are making our way into the final lap.
I just love that the ghosts are doing donuts in the mall parking lot. Like, that's like people by my mall parking lot. They just go and street race and do donuts. Hey, have a good time while you're at it. Right now, I'm having a great time. Unfortunately, went up the wrong escalator for that orange Yoshi. Now behind, a bomb was there. D4 almost got caught, but good job really having that turtle shell, using it at the last minute. Didn't get caught with the bomb.
Yeah, that was a very good defensive use of that red turtle shell. And now here we go, making our way towards the final lap, and this should be the win here for D4. As long as they manage to avoid the hot rods, they do. They come around the corner, and they have the red shell to boot. That is going to be a first place finish for our pink Yoshi, and that should be some good points going the way of our varsity MK squad.
And D4 right now earning some points, 18-2 behind from NFO Shifty. So Shifty gonna feel the sweat drifting from their back right now because they're right on their heels.
Yeah, and look at the strat that they're employing right now, coming from the pink Yoshi and their squad. The pink Yoshi is settling towards the back on purpose, so that way they have a player that is up in front, and then you have one that is up in back, so that way you have one that is actually trying to contend with the top front runners, and then you have one that is just eating up all the power-ups, getting all the best power-ups, and also trying to deliver a lot of those projectiles that they can get from the power-up boxes.
And must I remind you, I talked a little bit about rubber banding. Sometimes you end up getting boosted if you're behind the pack, so that's honestly a great strategy. Look at that. 4 different mushrooms that they've had, and also 2 star power as well, which gives you a little extra boost as well. So you get all of those and another star as well. Ooh-wee, they're rocketing towards the front.
It's actually NFO Shifty once again leading the pack as they do get hit, and now D4 is going to take the lead here in the third and final lap. They could very well turn the corner here and go into the last straightaway and take this win.
We are ringing the bell just like it is the Olympics. We're heading to the final stretch, and guess what? They could not stretch the lead. Guess what? Shifty says, I will shift this thing all around.
Also looks like Logan could possibly be on the Me Racer too. I didn't get a chance to really get a good look. But in first place, it looked like Shift such a monumental lead. Let's see if they can take it back. But it might be too little too late. Once again, Shifty coming around the last shift. They might be able to finish it out. And they do! My goodness, Shifty again with a first place finish. You could say what you want about the Mario movie, but Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong I thought was actually pretty funny.
It was so funny. I thought the whole movie was so great. It had a lot of references, had nostalgia, and had fireworks. Again, Shifty providing that all over, getting the green shell shell to go down.
To catch up from behind, able to throw out the green shell, but will it hit its mark? I think it's just going to go wide here as it continues to go across Rainbow map. Finally, it does fall off of the Rainbow Road, but that red shell does hone in on DK, and it hits.
Yeah, it's so hard to get a red shell right there, but the boom box really erasing their chance of getting first place, at least for the moment. But then out of nowhere, Jimmy and D4 decide, hey, I'm going to head my way to the front. DK using the boom box to go ahead and get close. But as we approach the last couple of turns, Shifty could still pull this thing off and get first.
I mean, at this point, I put nothing beyond Shifty. They managed to come away with the first place finish by a narrow margin every single time, and I'm not going to put it past them now, as once again, we are coming around with that final turn on the final lap. Can they go the distance? Yes, they can. It will be Varsity MK to come away with a first place finish on Rainbow Road.
D4, I love that. They kept onto their boom box even though they went through another set of boxes. That's because boom box can not only make sure that anybody that is close to you that might be on your trail can get knocked off a position no matter how far away, it's just a radius, but now also too if any items come your way as well. So it's a great safety precaution to make sure that you won't end up being shifted at the last second like we've seen time and time again during this matchup. D4 finally getting first after winning first earlier on in the matchup, but they still have a long way to go when it comes to point total. It actually feels very Mario Kartish, and I actually want to try it out if I wasn't so accident prone. I just end up like breaking my elbow or something like that. I don't need that to happen, okay?
Well, meanwhile, we're getting back into the thick of things here, and it looks like D4 is going to have a lead currently. No, that's going to be Gibberato that is going to be taking that first place spot for now, and meanwhile, it does look like Logan, or no, not Logan, I'm sorry, that is going to be D4 actually behind them, trying to make the catch up here. As you can see, Shifty and Logan are on the come up here as Shifty is able to get the boot there onto the Princess Peach, and they push themselves forward as Gibberato continues to hold on to the lead as we go into the final lap.
And this is the first time that I've seen Gibby actually be in front for this amount of time, so you're gonna have to play it straight and you're gonna have to play it smart too. Unfortunately, they're able to block away that red shell, so good on them for maintaining that, but eventually get caught, able to maintain it, but Shifty is right on their trail. And Cap, if we've seen anything from that tournament, this is not great if you are the other opponent.
Yeah, absolutely not. Gibberato trying to hold on to their lead here. Shifty accidentally hits the hot rod as the final turn comes through, and Gibberato is going to be able to finish in first, and D4 trailing not far behind. That should be a 15-point finish for the side of Varsity NK. That was a big win.
All right, so we have in our second place the College